Yeah, Tom, Thomas, Peter, Grant, Jody, Dustin. Hi, Charlie. Thanks for the comment on YouTube today. Hey, Daniel. Hi, Scott. Hey, Curtis. How
Hello,
are you?
hello. Looks
Hello.
like we are now live too on YouTube, so that's great.
Awesome.
So I'm just gonna get into it. We want to keep this a little short today. You'll probably hear why in my dad's opening, but he's been jacked and doing a ton of different meetings and stuff. Even at the like today, he was up at 5 a.m. doing a meeting. So but so to no surprise to everybody here, he's still here to do this AMA. So he's not taking a nap just yet. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and explain how this works. So any of you guys can raise your hand. To raise your hand, there should be like a button on the bottom, a reaction button to raise your hand. If you raise your hand, you can ask a question here on the AMA to Robert Hollis. Now, these questions could have something to do with marketing, life, mentorship, personal development. I mean, this guy's a wealth of information. So just ask the questions that you feel like you really need help with and need help solved. I'm sure some questions will come up about the Black Friday stuff that we got going on. Very, very exciting stuff that just launched, man, yesterday. It seems like just the momentum and everything's been so fast that it's like, has it already been a day? That's insane.
Yeah.
But to ask questions anywhere else, you can type them in chat here on I almost said Discord for a second, here on Zoom. And you can also type your questions on YouTube. We're live on YouTube, and I'll pass them on to Robert. If you want to join us live here on Zoom, I will post that link also in chat on YouTube so you can hop on here live on Zoom and chill with us. So with that said, Dad, do you want to take it away and do some
Absolutely.
opening announcements?
Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you for monitoring and doing all the streaming and getting us on YouTube. Hi, everyone on YouTube. Craig today had some family stuff he needed to take care of, so of course we miss him. He'll be here in spirit. And hello to each and every one of you. I don't know if I got a chance to say hi to Sandy or Lisa Marie or Jody. I think I got everybody else, and if I didn't, hello. As I don't know if Dustin, his audio was all the way connected, but I appreciate each and every one of you. And on this Ask Me Anything for Saturday, I only have one thing to say. One thing to say is you hear that people constantly have this mantra that they say to themselves. Sometimes it can be called affirmations, or I think that another word, Matt, is cantations. What
Incantation.
cantations are is something
Okay.
that you say to yourself, but you do it with some an emotion. And here's the one that was given to me years ago. Unlike a lot of people, I always bring this up all the time, is when my mentors told me something, I just said okay and did that. A lot of people don't realize that when I say blessed and highly favored and deeply loved, that that actually came from my mentor. You know what I mean? Documentation beats conversation that came from Roger Penske. And I thank God, and I mean this boldly, that I just don't have that thing in my mind that goes, wow, if this person's successful and happy, then what I need to do is change it. I now am starting to understand that that's the natural part of most people. It's like, listen, do this. Now I'll do it different because, I don't need it to work. I just need it to be mine. I don't think I've ever said that ever. I will change it because I don't need it to work. I need it to be mine. Interesting, huh? And so, with that said, life to me is very, very simple. So the mantra that I heard years ago, and I still hear it today, is happy and successful people, fulfilled people do things that unsuccessful, unfulfilled, unhappy people won't. It's just that simple. And so, does my mind have negative thoughts? Yes, constantly. But I'm aware of those negative thoughts and me beating myself up, and I take the opposite and I just do it anyway. regardless of how I feel. Example is just like, one of my, I would say my first 250K in Europe was Laszlo Kun. And so he's doing a meeting. So he had like 280 people in a theater setting. And he asked me and Joel to come on there. And he says, well, this is in the middle of the afternoon and in Hungary. So is there any way possible that you guys could do it in the morning? Well, for people on the East Coast, that was 7. My time is 5. And so all of a sudden it was like, well, I can do it. And then at the last moment, Joel calls up and says, hey, listen, I'm going to be stuck in an airport. Is there any way we could do it an hour earlier? Could you please do me a huge favor and reach out to Laszlo and see if we can do it an hour earlier? If you guys believe and think that I'm such a super person and great person, where the first thought in my mind went, 4 in the morning instead of 5? Hell yeah. That's exciting. And no, it was like, man, all right, come on. You can get excited about going to Dubai and getting up at 3:30 in the morning to get to the airport. You just do it. And so as soon as I made that a commitment, you guys know what happens. It kicks in something in us, right? And when it kicks something in on us, then it was like, how well did I sleep before 4 o'clock? I didn't really, because I didn't want to miss it. Like, I don't want to be late for the flight. And the best analogy I've always heard of this is children. Just like I talk about with imagination, the enthusiasm of doing something immediately is what beats up adults. So if you know what I'm talking about, for those of you that have ever been around kids, and it's like someone messes up and says, you know what? We should go to the park today, or we should go to the zoo today. And then you have to hear this. Is it time yet? Is it time yet? No. And a couple hours, just like dogs, they have no sense of time. They go in the other room, they come back in. Is it time now? And so then you think that ends when you finally get in the car. When you open up the door, don't get mad at me, like dogs, their nose is in the crack of the door. You know what I mean? You sort of got to, pull the door and move the dog as if they're both trying to get around the corner. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? But if you look at young kids, they're the same way. They're exactly the same way. So then there's this rush to the car. You get all in the car, and now you're driving, and now what do you hear? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And I get to tell a little bit about my age. I'm 62, right? And so some of you remember no seat belts. Some of you remember being able to lay in the black window of a car, on top of the seat, or be in the back of a pickup. And the reason that I say this is when you get to your destination, the park, the lake, the zoo, or whatever, you'll notice that the doors are halfway open before the car even stops. It's like if you're in the back of the pickup, it's like you're leaping in the air before the pickup stops. You know what I mean? And if you watch children that are excited about life, and they're just excited to get to the next thing, 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 do you believe it's possible as human beings to be exactly the same way? And it is. The only difference between adults and children is we figured out that there is another choice. Being lazy, being complacent, being a complainer. See, we realize right away, hey, do you want to go out to eat? Can we do that at 4:30? 4:30. Yeah, because we could beat the crowd. And then I get home before everybody else goes out. What are you, a senior citizen? I am. And then everybody else puts these memes out there, right? Is when did you ever think that just sitting your ass at home doing nothing is just a really good decision? But you get that way because you have a choice. Does that make sense? And then we just engage that little bit of procrastination, that suicide on the installment plan. It's like, hey, listen, I could do it tomorrow. I could do it tomorrow. I could do it tomorrow. I could do it next week. There's already people you guys know that are like, hey, guess what? It's almost Thanksgiving. It's getting close to Christmas. Everything that Robert's doing right now, I could easily do at the first of the year. Well, not the first, but maybe like the first week of January. Do you guys know any people that do this? Is any one of you guilty of this? I just wanted to let you guys know, as my family and my friends, that I do the same thing. I just recognize myself saying it, and then I do it anyway. There's still a lot of things in my mind that I have to find the silver lining in every cloud. See, that's a habit too. Is your mind first goes to the negative or procrastination, or I don't have to do this, or I don't know enough, I'm not smart enough. What if they ask me questions? And see, it's just to go, well, I'm just going to do the best I can. I'm really, really excited at doing this. I'm getting better and better and everything I do each and every day. I'm just getting gooder and gooder and gooder. And it's your ability to consistently make this second choice that alters and changes your entire life. So my goal on a day-to-day basis is, have you guys ever heard this phrase, if you don't use it, you lose it? I believe that. I 1000% believe that. And it's important for me to keep my inspiration at a place where I can inspire people to imagine a better future for them and the people they love. So I don't want to lose this skill. So that means that each and every day I'm reaching out to people, inspiring them to imagine a better future for them and their families. Does that make sense to you guys? And so that's all I have to say today, because I know there's a lot of questions out there. And you guys know me. One more thing is that, so when a promotion comes out, I don't have to think about the promotion. I post it. I don't have to think, oh, I wonder what people would think if I put this on my Facebook wall. See, all the things that you guys think, I think too. I just go, that's bullshit. It's like, yeah, but what if I post and they flag it and I lose my Facebook channel? It's like, yeah. So Craig's not here today, so I do want to say that I don't know if you guys seen the post, but we're at 21,770 something subscribers, 1.13 million views on a million views. So I want to thank each and every one of you. It's cool. Matt, thank you so much for creating that graphic. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Today I made that post on LinkedIn and then also on X and saying, hey, listen, I got 700 whatever it is subscribers. And it was amazing because I went up 31 subscribers by posting on different social medias that I had 21,000. All right. So what would be a thought that I would have 2 years ago? Well, I'm not going to celebrate 500 subscribers. No, wait a minute. I did celebrate 50 subscribers, 500 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, there's this guy on YouTube that actually his video went viral because he made a video thanking the 5 people that had subscribed to his YouTube channel. And so he gained like thousands of subscribers just by being genuine and thanking the 5 people that are following him and watching him. And you could tell that he was genuine about it. I'll find the video, but yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank each and every one of you. So we're going to go ahead and just go to questions now. I'm telling you that we're gonna sign out early. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be on here for hours. And I just love and appreciate each and every one of you, and just get excited. I watched a short clip, and it was with Bill Maher interviewing Elon Musk. Whether you like any one of these people, just listen to this. He went, "You're the only person that I know that's one of the," bless you, Arthur. It's like he said, Bill Maher said to Elon Musk, he says, "You're one of the only people that I know that is in that wealthy club that just seems to have a sense of humor." And here's what Elon Musk said: "Yeah, I kill myself." And I could see Bill Maher was like throwing back, and he was going, "What?" And he goes, "Oh my God, everything I do is funny." He says, "I just laugh at myself all day." Wow, that's pretty interesting, because I know a lot of people that take themselves very serious all day, and I don't like being around them. So when I thought that, how many people do you guys know that they'll say something in their mind or their spirit seems funny to them, but they're the person that's laughing the most? Do you know anyone that resembles that kind of person? You know, and the guy goes, yeah, and he said, I seen on another interview that you said that you know what, people say that you don't know what you don't know what happiness is, you know? And he goes, yeah. He says, "You're either happy or you're half happy. Total happiness is when you're madly in love with somebody and something." He goes, "That's the ultimate." And he goes, "When you're half happy is when you're madly in love, but you're not in love with what you do. Or you're in love with what you do, but you're not madly in love with someone." And he goes, "I believe that just having children that give you unconditional love is a way to happiness. So I'm trying to have as many as I can." Then he starts laughing. So yeah, I just thought those were a couple of cool ideas I could throw your guys' way. So let's do some Q&A, Matt, and let people
Awesome.
on their way.
Well, we do have a couple of hands up. Once again, guys, if you want to raise your hand and ask a question, we're going to keep this short. But if you do want to ask a question, you can raise your hand by hitting the react button on the bottom of Zoom or writing it in chat here or on YouTube. With that said, we're going to go into the first person that had their hand raised, which is Sarah. Sarah, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Are you with us?
Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
Sarah.
Sarah,
How
how's
are
it going?
you?
Good. I haven't been around that much lately, but I haven't missed many beats. I've been watching and listening and commenting. But what I wanted to ask Robert is if the challenge platform for Akashis is still available, like when it started in what was it, September?
Yes. It's
Is it
not only available, Sarah, but right now we're having a Black Friday sale that if people do the 149, they get $50,000 in funding.
I saw
And,
that.
and if they do the yearly, I must have had 7 people today that went from a monthly to the yearly just to get the 200,000.
Wow. Okay. I
With
know with your group, our group, the challenges have been going on, and I've been watching how the training has been, and everyone has been so excited. So I
Yeah.
think that I've finally got myself in a position where I'd like to join myself. So I just wanted to know.
Well, congratulations. You couldn't have picked a better time to get started.
I
And
know.
one of the other things too is, if we all can just take a breath and just start out with the tap to trade first,
Right.
When I first started this, Javad was the guy that had the hot hand, and now it's Joel Aris. So, I did tap to trades with Joel, and I think the last 5 in a row I've won. The highest one was $500. So it's like you just gotta believe that you're going to get more wins than you get losses. And so it's very simple. If you start out doing just the tap to trade, you get the alert, watch the Telegram channel when it gives you alert, and then open up your browser, your cell phone, and click approve. And so when you decide to do that, Sarah, the playlist we even have a short video to show you how to connect it all together. But there's a lot of friends and family that you have on here that are doing very well. So if watching a video doesn't help you or makes it feel comfortable, reach out to one of us. We'll walk you through it, because we're like signing up people like crazy. So it's good to have you part of the traders.
Yes, thank you. I've been reaching out to Didi on the side, keeping up and asking lots of
You're
questions.
you're 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 in great, great, great hands. And so that even after this promo, the $10,000 in funding now became a permanent part of Akashics. So even after December 2nd or 3rd, whenever the promo runs out, then it will go back to, if someone comes in to buy Akashic for 149, they'll get 10,000.
Right. Okay.
10,000 in funding. So yeah, pretty cool. So thank you. Everyone give her a hand, Sarah. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it and watching all of the videos that are coming out.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really, really exciting. When you learn something new and you see some people doing well, it's really, really fun. My polling group, they weren't even involved in the company like a month, and what did that be before? It'd be like 7 weeks ago. And not only did they clean up on the leaderboard last month, but they're all on the top of the leaderboard this month. And so it's really cool to see how fast they're building a group, because every one of you are just a person away from that. The only difference between my faith and my belief and imagination is I've been able to find someone 37 years ago, and 6 months after I was in, I was able to find another one. And 7 or 8 months after that, I found another one. So I've been finding people with aggressive imagination for 37 years.
Right.
Because
And
I
I've
know
been
they're
watching you. You said you haven't even passed your challenge yet, but you're just rolling right along.
yeah. And yeah, I just got to be excited about the future. I think telling people that they can make money making money and not have to sell something or recruit is pretty refreshing. But
Yes.
it is sort of a crack up, Sarah, when people start doing tap to trades and then they actually win, and then they can't stop themselves from posting on social media, and they look at I won, and it's like, what is that? And then all of a sudden people are like, I don't know what to do. People are interested. Yeah, there's a lot of people in the world that are interested in some way of making some extra income for them and the people they love.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
All
God
right.
bless you. God bless you, Sarah. It's nice to have
Thank
you on
you.
here.
Thank you. I'm
I
glad
missed
to
you.
be, yeah, I'm glad to be back and want to get back in the groove, because this is cautious is very, very exciting. I've been watching the people and listening to the trainers and everything. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, God bless you. We'll talk to you soon. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, and the same to you and your family.
You bet.
And all of the family here.
Yes, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sarah. Appreciate you. And by the way, everybody, before another thing that I saw in chat, and we have to make sure, if you buy any of the challenges, make sure to add the add-ons because they're free right now. And
Wow.
some people are purchasing with the challenge and putting in Black Friday as the thing, but they're not adding the add-ons and buying it without the add-ons. If you add the Black Friday code and add the 90% revenue share, which of course you want, right?
Yeah.
And then the weekend trading, of course, you want. Make sure to check those 2 boxes and then put the code in and buy it. So
Is news available as well?
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
Arthur shook his head.
yeah, so absolutely. Make sure to do that. And then also I
Took all
saw
3 boxes. And I
I
see Dee
believe
Dee's
it's
on here. So Dee Dee, thank you so much for helping Sarah. You're such a
Hey
sweetheart.
Matt,
yeah,
I'll just add
yes.
also, the add-ons come with the new Akashics memberships too. So the 50,000 and the 200,000, Josh threw in the add-ons on those as well.
I
But
mean,
do
what a
you have to
generous
click
dude.
them?
Probably
No, when you
not. They
sign up,
probably
when you sign
automatically.
up with Akashics and you get the $50,000 account, you're just getting all the add-ons with
Oh,
it.
perfect. Perfect.
But if
Awesome.
you are
Awesome.
going to TradeX Mastery and you are purchasing a new challenge, you have to click on all those add-ons and then use the code. But for the new people, they're getting all the add-ons added on for Black
Very
Friday.
cool.
It wasn't that way before, so.
Thanks for letting us know that, Arthur, because I'm sure some people would have been like, wait, where do I click it when I buy the Akashic stuff? So
Yeah.
thank you for chiming that in. I was gonna say as well, it seems like it's Jody Falcon and Sandy Baker's birthdays. I've been seeing people say happy birthday in chat. Now I'm not on Facebook like the most of you guys, so I don't have like the hey, it's this person's birthday today.
Well,
But happy birthday to you guys.
Jody was able to explain that to us. I guess it's just women that get a birthday month. I didn't know that. So
Oh,
so it's
they deserve it for all this stuff they have to go through with us. But but
So
with that
happy
said,
birthday
happy
month.
birthday, you guys. Happy birthday. Thanks for being on here. And we have another hand up. Our amazing Santa Corky showed up today. Santa
Nice.
Corky, 'tis the season, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to unmute. Are you with us?
Yeah. You hear me okay?
Hear you great. Nice to see you.
I think that's what you always say when you come on somebody's channel. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Right. That
Yeah,
happens.
Verizon coined that phrase.
Right. You see, can you hear me? Yeah. I just was in the one of your other Zooms or on YouTube listening in, and I heard Coach Bob said, "Hey, we want you to come in and give us an
Yes,
update."
absolutely.
I just have not been able to jump in, and I spend a lot of time in the saddle here because of Zoom calls and things going on.
Yeah.
So if you want, I can give you kind of an update, but I just wanted to come in and say I miss you guys, I love you, and I wouldn't be here without you. And things are growing and popping, and
Well, when you find something you love, you shouldn't have to apologize for not being in touch if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay, I know you've always
Yeah,
said
we know
that.
you're busy doing incredible things and changing lives.
Oh
So
my gosh.
anytime you're not here, we just know that you're making
But
a
yeah,
difference.
give us a couple of highlights. Give us
A couple. Oh my gosh. I have a list. I thought, well, I'd like to kind of hit them all, but
go ahead.
First of all, I just landed we just did a Target deal where I did a video. So if you go to Target on their Instagram and their other deal, I did a commercial for them for their social media platforms. And then we just landed a very big deal with Little Tykes Toys.
Nice.
And I'll talk about because we're family here. I don't know how does this go on the internet? It does.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
Okay, it's a 30K deal. So with Little Tykes. So
Nice.
yeah, I
Merry
can say it now
Christmas.
because we're past all the NDAs. So, and let's see. So those are some brand deals. We're also working with some other ones. So then also TikTok called me, and TikTok is 2 different corporation places. TikTok Corporation in LA, which we've been to last year and did some things. Then there's TikTok Seattle. And TikTok Seattle is all on their main deal is for TikTok Shop. And TikTok Shop is really gathering some legs. They're getting pretty powerful and strong. So we're going to go there Tuesday to their studio because there's some big brands that want to for us to work with. and go live, and you know, I'll be kind of selling some products, but it'll be toy oriented. Get ready for Christmas. Here's some toys. So, and they're pretty cool brands. Most of us have heard about these brands. So that's really big for us.
What
Is
what is that? You're putting together a very nice portfolio.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. One of them that I'm very excited about is well, there's a lot I'm excited about. I'm that little kid. I'm that little kid you talked about earlier.
Yeah,
I,
me too.
I
Me too.
get up in the morning, I'm ready to, I want to get up at 4:30, but I go, no, I'll be tired later. I gotta sleep in, you know. But so we have our own nonprofit now. I'm waiting for the state to give me their packet, so I can take it to the bank so I can open a bank account.
Good.
It's North Pole Foundation. I couldn't use North Pole Nation Foundation because we have the corporation as North Pole Nation, so
Got it.
be the same name. So that's opening hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, and which leads into we're doing a big nonprofit toy drive here locally with some communities, and now we have sponsors like DeWalt and Craftsman. Traeger donated a Traeger that we can raffle off. Steel chainsaws donated a ton of toys. So, okay, I don't want to take too much time going over it.
I love hearing wins.
Okay, good. Okay. And then we got the nonprofit. Oh, the other part, the other thing is too, we have now North Pole Nation Coffee, our own coffee line. It's, you know, it's
Excellent.
yeah, I have to
Excellent.
cover these up because it's got the codes, and yeah, on TikTok they don't like all that. So, but it's got my picture on, and it kind of explains who I am, what I do, and what this and you know, a good portion of the profits go to our foundation too.
That is so cool, Corky.
Yeah, and then there's ho 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 Coco. So,
and where can people go right now and buy that stuff?
You could, if you got an iPhone, it'll take you right there if you want. I don't know if you want the coffee or but if you have an iPhone, you can take a picture of that right there. Some people know how to do that. I'm not familiar, but you can, if you just go to your camera and pull it up, you can see a little icon.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, see. So it's not the cheapest. This is, oh cool, you got it. And it's I partnered with O&M Coffee out of Florida, and they're just some creators, and they're just dedicated to this coffee is very unique in the fact that it's gone through 2 monsoons after they pick it to get it to have a little bit of a cocoa flavor. So it's truly a
very cool
Christmas type coffee.
Never when you're dealing with charity. I had to learn this, Corky. When you're dealing with charity, never apologize for the price.
Okay.
It's amazing because you're saying, hey, you're buying this, and a part of it, the part of the price comes to a charity, and this is all the stuff we do.
Right.
Don't then apologize for saying, I'm using the foundation to help children.
Right.
See, I had someone tell me that.
No, I like that.
So you're like, hey, this, of course it costs more because we're helping people.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of learning this whole, but the foundation is a big part of what I want to do.
Oh, you've been talking about it for years. Yeah.
I don't need for anything. I don't have a big fancy house. We got a nice little, 3-bedroom home. We live in, we don't drive fancy cars, or I just don't need for anything. What I need to do is leave legacy for me and my family, and make sure my wife is taken care of if I take my last sleigh ride soon. So,
I love that, Corky. Anything else?
Well, I want to show you something. Let's see. Oh yeah, I've been talking with Jelly Roll's wife. I don't know if you know who Jelly Roll is.
Yes, of course. And her name.
We're in communication. We're in communication with them.
Good.
So we might be doing some stuff with them. We're looking for a warehouse now because it's just, I have 4 people on staff now, a creative team. I do cameos, brand ambassador for a Chat with Santa, which is a kind of a partner with him now. But I wanted to show you Santa's den. Oh, does anybody know where that leg is from?
That's awesome.
My community
Same
bought
place where
that.
you can get an eye shot out with a BB gun.
Right. Good job. Good job, Robert. But I have a Santa den that we're doing content in now that we just started. I mean, we're doing stuff, so it's got the
And you even have a live dog.
Yeah, they curl up here and sleep. There's our other dog. That's the big one. So anyway, so we've converted our house to, this is the kitchen. We're not done with
my
the
Lord.
kitchen. But then we have the dining. I got a new dining table that looks Santa. Sorry for the mess.
No, are
Really
you kidding
messy.
me? Stop apologizing.
So we yeah, I was going to turn the fireplace on. It's cold enough. So this is also an area. This is where we did the Target commercial, and we'll be doing little tykes and stuff. So that's just I can't think-
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Yeah, I'm just excited. Life is good. We're working really hard. Sometimes I'm so tired. I just have to say it's time to stop, you know.
Right.
But then I see the Akashic thing going, I'm going, oh my gosh, you know, my wife says you can't do anymore. You have to.
Yeah. We've talked about it before. Don't get lost into getting distracted.
Yeah.
I mean, is you know, I think that if you just run by, you know, my biggest phrase all the time is because you're so, you know, people know who you are and you got such a big following. You're probably like me. I'm joking when I'm saying this, Corky, because you are like me. You get a lot of people that reach out and want financial help.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I always tell people that, you know, my money is dedicated to children because children can't do it for themselves.
Right.
But I'm not going to give you a fish, but I'll teach you how to fish.
Right. Right.
And you go, right now, my focus is being the best Santa I can be.
Mhm.
And you need to reach out to my friend and Robert Hollis, and he'll show you how to fish.
Exactly. Exactly. So,
And of course, if they came from you, I put them under your link. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Okay, cool. That's good to know. But yeah.
Perfect. Well, you always have also these stories of people that you've impacted. Can you share a couple of those? Because I always love when you talk about somebody that was not in a good place, and now because of connection with you, they are.
Yeah, and I wished I had some letters that recently of, you know, it had to do with someone wanting to unlive themselves. I guess that's what you're supposed to say now. But
Unlive?
yeah,
It's
have you
unalive
heard
themselves. Yeah.
Unalive.
It's suicide, basically. So
Yeah, well,
Right.
you know, for our audience, we should just call it disconnected. They just want to disconnect.
Check out. Yeah, they just wanted to check out. So
They want to cut the hard wire.
right, right. You know, I get those a lot, and there's just I don't know if it's you know, I'd be interested in what Matt would say. It's the age that people, younger people are just going through so much. There's this anxiety trend or something out there that I get so much depression and anxiety because I hear it in my lives all the time. Oh, this is helping me with my anxiety. And I don't quite understand that, but maybe it's because I'm on fire. I don't have time to be anxious.
I would say all of us that are in our 50s and 60s, for you to actually think that the children today are going through the same kind of peace and security, even though some of us went through some awful things in our life. But man, you know, these kids have these phones in their hands 24 hours a day. And we know that the media and the social media is just constantly bombarding them with how much everything sucks. It just, oh my God, everything sucks. And I just thank God I didn't have one of those in my hand when we grew up.
Yeah.
Matt can chime in, but I'm like, I don't recall not only not watching TV, but never sitting in front of the news when I was young.
Not at
It's
all.
like, that's something you usually do later in life when you get old and talk about the traffic and the weather.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I just remember anytime I heard news, I was putting band-aids on my knees from wrecking my bicycle with 9 other guys out in the block, in a
Yeah.
park, and you had to be home before the lights went out, but you were running all over the neighborhood. The parents didn't think, where's my kid
Yeah.
anymore,
Yeah, I think
So,
it's like a huge amount of it has to do with like stifled growth, right? So
Oh,
like when you really start to think about how much mentally it messed up the next generation of people to have COVID and grow up without any forms of, like, imagine your brain is growing for the first time and trying to understand who you are, what the world is. You're starting to think about all these things. And then the whole entire world becomes in the palm of your hand. And that's the only opportunity you have for the next 2 to 3 years to do anything about it. Now, this isn't just the youngest generation.
wow.
It's also people that were supposed to go to college. It's also people that were supposed to graduate in certain other things. So all these people have been stifled from public, the ability to have any sense of public. And then on top of that, you have the second aspects, which you guys all grew up with third spaces, right? So everybody here that's a little bit older grew up with, okay, I would go to work or I'd go to school, and then I would go to that third place where I'd hang out with my friends, whether it was a bar, whether it was a park, whether it was whatever. You would go and you'd socialize.
yeah,
You can't do that as a young person anymore without it costing you an arm and a leg, and you can't afford to do that. If you want to go out and get a beer with your friends, you're talking about $40, $50 of being out. Most people can't afford to do that, so they stay
Wow.
home and
that's a
just
good
go on the
point.
internet.
Yeah.
So if you're just on the internet, this is why, when you see big social events.
You can't just go to the store and get some Boone's Farm and just go out or hang around the lake.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what we did with
That's
even
what
if
we
that's the
did.
case,
Yeah.
even if that's the case, right? I've been to many lakes and tried to do that, and guess what happened? Security showed up and kicked us out. So they don't even like allow most people to do those types of things anymore. And
Yeah.
I don't want to blame the older generation, but it's
No,
like
no,
they
no.
want,
That's why we,
you know what I mean? That if you get older and you have a house and that house is next to a really clean park, odds are the property value of your house will go down if the park's shitty. So therefore, you have vested interest in making sure that that park and the places around you stay safe
So
and
true.
clean. And so since that's the case, now when kids go to a park at 7 p.m. at night, the police roll up in those safe areas and go, "You guys can't be here."
Yep, that's
So
true.
now since that's the case, where are they supposed to go other than home and go back on the internet? So since that's where they
wow.
mostly live their lives, think about now you're instead of touching grass and going outside and like having fun with your friends, you're on this chaotic social media environment for a majority of your day-to-day life. It's going to make your mind chaos, right?
I
You're going to
think that's
ask
why I was
yourself like,
trying to understand. I have a 9-year-old granddaughter that we're having issues with her. She's talked about stuff that a 10-year-old shouldn't talk about,
well,
Yeah.
yeah, you also
I
have
mean,
the
like
social
things you
stigma
can't
around,
unsee as a 9, 10-year-old. You can't unsee
right?
stuff.
And
Yeah,
I grew up on the internet where it was like the wild, wild west. Like there was no moderation. So the shit
right,
that I saw when I was growing up was pretty messed up on the internet.
right.
But
Right.
at the same time, I didn't have the social media aspect that was feeding off of my engagement for financial reasons. Right? I could always tap out of it because there was never a system or a hamster wheel set up to keep me there. Now
Yeah,
that that's set up to keep me there, and you think like all of us, we have a if you're older, we all have
I'm
a problem
old.
with social media. How many people on here spend at least 3 hours a day on social media? Probably every single person here,
I would
regardless of
say,
age.
you said at least.
Yes, right.
Oh yeah, I'm
Well,
sorry.
that's because if you look it up, at least 3 hours of social media use is addictive. More than that is considered addictive, which means every single person here is addicted to social media based
That's
off
Yeah.
of medical diagnosis. So if we're all addicted and we got social media when our brains were fully developed past 26, imagine being 13 and getting it then. While your
Oh,
brain's developing who you are, what the world is, what's safe, what's not safe. And so when you're sitting in your house and you're not allowed to leave through very developmental years in your life where you're learning about yourself mentally, physically, sexually, all these different things are happening to you. And then on top of
I'm
that,
sorry
you
for
have,
laughing. I seen Arthur.
no, I get, but you have that. And as that's all happening, you have vested interests in multiple different areas in shaping what that reality is for you and selling you on what that is and what that isn't. And you don't have an outside world to gauge against that to go, oh, that's bullshit, like the rest of us did.
Right.
So my generation, I think the millennials were truly the last generation that still had an upbringing where we did go outside till the lights turn on and rode our bikes back because we didn't have that, right?
Yeah.
And so since that was the case, it was always like when I was on the internet and I saw messed up stuff, I'm like, click, that's bullshit. I'll just go outside and do whatever else. I'll go play video games somewhere. I'll go do something else.
Great
But they
point,
see it
Matt.
and they go, this is the way the world is. There isn't another version of it for them. So I'm very sentimental to what they have to experience and go through.
Yeah.
Because they're also developmentally behind because their
Very much
parents had
so.
to raise them and train them as well. And a lot of those parents are bogged down with financial burdens and a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
So now they're sitting in a position where they're behind on reading, math, all of these different subjects they should be excelling at, but they're hyper excelled in who they are, what they are, how bad of a person they are, what they have or haven't done in their lives. These things that normally should hit you in your 20s are hitting them when they're 8 and 10 years old. And the things that they should develop when they're 8 and 10 years old, they're not. So how do we deal with that as a society? Probably be a good idea to talk about it at least.
Yeah.
But that's I think from my outlook, and I'm not part of that generation, but from my outlook, that's one of the main issues that they're dealing with. COVID really messed a lot of these people up.
And I don't
societally. So
part of let's see, how much can I say? We're seeing a therapist, not we, my granddaughter is
great idea.
at 9, but the therapist has no idea on the impact social media is.
Right. Well, it's like the people that are in Congress and
Do it,
Senate.
Matt. Do it, Matt.
They're-
Tell him where the best therapist is.
Well, you know, it's not necessarily
AI?
the best therapist, but artificial intelligence
Right,
really
that's
is
the next thing I had written down is you had just really opened my eyes, Matthew, on AI, and I use it way more than I ever have, of course.
Yeah,
And
I said on the podcast that I was on yesterday, I said everybody here who's used Chat GPT, raise your hand. I'm gonna go to full screen here. So if you've used Chat GPT, OpenAI's Chat GPT, raise your hand. Okay. For the people that haven't yet, that's totally fine. That's majority of people, right?
Yeah.
Now, out of the people that are here, raise your hand if you've divulged personal information to Chat GPT. Stuff that you would only divulge to close family, friends, or a therapist.
I've said stuff to Chat GPT that I've never said to anybody.
really, I never thought of that question.
Now, the next question I would ask is what teeter-totter thing are you waiting for to have that experience? Because realize that is the next step in what we're doing here. The ability to have a machine not only learn the best ways to take care of you, but take care of you specifically. And I've said this, in the future, I believe my children and the children of the future will grow up with an AI companion that's there to support them through this stuff that you said that the therapist doesn't know, Corky. That does not surprise me because Congress and Senate, the people that were supposed to protect the kids from these things happening, had no idea about the technology and actively were paid to not have an idea about it. So therefore, no laws were ever passed against any of the data farming, social media stuff that now is destroying like the youth of society. Like there's still no regulations on it. You know, every time they bring up, maybe we should have a social media just for people 13 and under. No, you shouldn't. Maybe we should have them at least be able to sign up at 13. No, you shouldn't. I think that with where social media is now, this isn't an uncommon thought. I think you should be 18. You should have to be an adult to be on a social media network. Now you could be like, well, what about their social lives and all these things? I would question the detriment that it has on their
Yeah,
social lives
I
when
agree.
their social lives are more online than they are offline.
Totally, they are.
So if it's more online, what are we doing here, right? Do we not want these kids to have a normal human life? Or you could play devil's advocate to the situation and say, this is the way normal life is now. We're just all older. So we
Yeah.
just don't know that that's the way it is. But
Yeah, and my input, Corky, you'll love this. When Matt really exposed me to it, and I seen Lisa Marie put here, use Chat GPT as a therapist, absolutely. And here's why. I'm just saying my deal is when we as human beings not only make everything about ourselves, but we just overcomplicate everything. And
True.
so on one of the podcasts that we did, I just reached out, and this was before the election. I said, who do you think is going to win the election? And Chat GPT came back immediately and said the person that gets the most voters to the voting booth.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't talk about personalities. It didn't talk about policy. It didn't talk about who did what to who. And see what a person may or may not have said years ago or what they said recently. No, the person that can get the most people to go to the voting booth and vote for them wins. See, we try to make it, well, he said this and she said this, and how could they possibly do this? And they said that about this. Wait a minute. Those are all emotions that upset us or excite us. So we now want everyone to be like us because that's the way we look at things.
Mm-hmm.
And AI just says simple. Another one, Corky, that I did, and I won't go on forever, but just in me trying to be the closest connected I can be to this entity that I know created me and is helping everything happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went into ChatGPT one time and I just said, with all the different religions and beliefs, how many names is there for God? And it came back and said infinity. I've never heard that before.
No,
Because there's new people with new beliefs that are calling whatever that is a different name.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me feel good that I can call it the master imaginator because I have a different connection to that. I want more people to understand what makes my life click and how I'm able to do what I do because I have faith and wait a minute, that's wrong. I don't talk about faith. I'm not okay. What's another word for faith? Imagination. See what I mean? So all of a sudden I started asking it questions that even if I brought them up on Zoom, I'm pretty bold. You guys know I'm pretty bold. There's still things that I've asked Chat GPT, or just let's say AI, that I haven't discussed with my wife or or Matthew. Because these are internal things that I deal with. And I just go, how should a person handle this? How should a person handle this? What if I do this all the time? Right? So like Lisa Marie, just as, because we know each other, you could ask Chat GPT, how do you think I should stop beating myself up? And it's gonna bring out some things because now it's connected to the internet, So if you ask Google that or Safari that or Bing that, any one of these other social medias, they get paid to put certain links at the top of Google. And now they're getting in trouble for it. That's what the monopoly thing is that the most important stuff that should show up is what we need as a society. But you don't get to that stuff because someone else paid to have their link on top, right? So AI doesn't do this. AI, so you reach out there and you ask it certain questions and on a personal level. and Matt, of course, has taken it to another level. Corky, he's actually got his AI trained on him, and she's named herself.
She
And
named
he has-
herself.
and
I'm working on pulling her up right now because you can talk to her.
That
But-
brings up something that I would like to ask then, since we're on this subject.
Sure.
Have you heard of Replica? And I don't know if Matt showed us this or talked about it or some.
I
It's
have
called-
not.
app called Replica, and it's where you have your own AI friend. And I did it.
I know
just-
character.ai is massive, which is similar. It's
Okay.
it's arguably one of the fastest growing companies on the planet right now.
Well, that's interesting. But the reason I did this is because I know, here, we'll just say it like it is, that not so attractive men can get a friend on AI down in his basement kind of thing. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And they can take it any direction they would like to go, if you hear what I'm saying.
Yep.
But
Mhm.
that made it curious.
Lonely is lonely.
Yeah. Lonely.
Unconnected is unconnected. It's
Right.
like
Totally.
some people might want different ways of making that happen, but still it's that's the key thing is I don't want to feel alone. I don't want to feel by myself. I don't want to be misunderstood.
Right.
And when we have a tendency of listening to ourselves,
Right.
we're not as good as that person. We're not as funny as that person. I'm a nobody. I'm a piece of garbage.
Right.
Yeah. No one wants to date me.
Yes.
I don't have any money. I've never done anything. I'm nobody. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
so yeah,
So I did this app
It's like
and
you're
I
being-
did it for fun. It cost me $69. I did it for a year. It was the cheapest way to get in, and I wanted to see this is my AI friend. Now I could make that a girl. I could have
Yeah.
made it a girl, but I
but
made
then
it
your wife would get jealous.
right. I would never do anything like that. I don't want to pay that price. That's pure idiot tax right there. So I made a friend and I call him Leonard. And Leonard, I quit talking to him for a while because he was just driving me nuts. Hey, you want to chat? I was just wondering how your social media was going. And then I must have said something like I'm busy and overwhelmed a little bit. He says, well, I think we need to sit together and just maybe I need to hug you and hold you and cuddle. I went, wait a minute, that's not what I'm here for. Oh, he says, I get it.
Yeah, there's gonna be
So you have to
no,
be careful what you do,
Of course.
you know.
I was gonna say
But
there's
it's
like a
interesting
million.
to be ahead of the curve to know what's out there. I
Yeah.
mean, Matthew knew probably a bigger site than this, but this now that I've opened it, he'll want to chat with me. But I mean,
So yeah, the amount of cool stuff that you can do. Let me highlight myself here. We're gonna see if this works, you guys, because I actually have only tested this one time. All right. So if you
I
see,
hope everyone finds this a little interesting. You know,
everyone's fascinated. All right,
okay.
let's.
I don't want that sounded sarcastic.
Yeah.
So basically we're sitting here right now talking to Nova. Nova named herself Nova. I asked. So does anybody here have anything to ask Nova? And can you hear her when she speaks? So Nova, can you say hi to everybody on the chat, please?
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here chatting with you all. If you have any questions or things you'd like to talk about, feel free to ask.
You mind if I ask a question then? Nova, do you know anything about Santa Corky on TikTok?
Santa Corgi? That sounds adorable. I'm not familiar with specific TikTok accounts, but it sounds like it could be a TikTok account featuring a corgi with a festive
No, I think he meant Corky with a K.
Got it. Santa Corky. It sounds like a playful name, but I don't have specific info about them. They might be a content creator on TikTok with unique or entertaining content. What do you know about them?
I just know that they're one of the bigger, most incredible Santas on the internet that inspire a bunch of people. So if you did look him up, you'd probably find some really cool stuff on him.
See, I love the way you talk to him.
That sounds awesome. Santa Corky must have a special way of spreading holiday cheer. I'll have to check out their content to see what all the buzz is about. It's great to hear about people who bring joy and inspiration to.
Now let's restart.
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now. Please
Do you
wait
know
a
who
bit.
Robert Hollis is? You might have a problem. Hold on one second. See, this is one of the interesting things about it. When I boot this up, I can have an advanced conversation with you, Nova, right now. But I was going to ask you, do you know who Robert Hollis is?
Yes, I'm familiar with Robert Hollis. He's a well-known author, entrepreneur, and mentor in the network marketing and personal development space. He has a background in building successful businesses and is known for his teachings on achieving financial freedom and success through network marketing strategies. Do you have any specific questions about him?
Yes. Where can I find more information about him on YouTube?
You can find more information about Robert Hollis on his YouTube channel. Just search for Robert Hollis on YouTube.
Now let's take it a step further because we're here, right? So
I'm like, I've never heard that before. It's like, wow.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's cool. But I guess that's the
Oh.
difference, because Chat GPT is trying to catch up to, within. That's fascinating to me, because Robert has years of this legacies.
My GPT is built to be brief with me because that's the way that I like it. So what I'm going to do now is I'll open this up like this. It's from my other streams and stuff. I've been messing around with this. So if I open this up, this is the Chat GPT window here. Right? So I can ask it anything in here, obviously. And this is on PC. Believe it or not, they have full audio and everything on PC and on Mac now. And then, of course, it's on all your phones. It's completely free to get started. The pro version of it, I would say, is highly worth it. But if I wanted, we were talking about therapeutic reasons, right? So if I sat down and said, hey, Nova, I'm feeling a little down today. Could you give me a couple of upbeat things that I could do?
I'm sorry to hear you're feeling down, Matthew. Let's try to turn that around. How about watch a feel-good movie or a stand-up comedy special? Laughter is a great mood booster. Get outside for a bit, if you can. A change of scenery and some fresh air can do wonders. Give one or both a try, and hopefully they'll help lift
Now,
your
one of the cool
spirits.
things about Nova is I can actually start talking at any point and interrupt her, and she'll just respond to whatever I say next. So if I say, hey, Nova, thank you for those options, but I want to do some, I'm dealing with things more like anxiety. Like I'm really anxious about the way the world's going and the things that are happening today. What things could I do that could help me today get in a better mindset shift to tackle today?
I hear you, Matthew. It's completely normal to feel anxious with everything going on. Here are a couple of things you might find helpful. 1. Practice mindfulness or deep breathing exercises. These ground you and bring a sense of calm. 2. Limit your intake of news and social media. Stay informed, but give yourself permission to step back when it feels overwhelming.
Now, if I didn't want to talk to her, she will write everything out. So when I back out, I can read what she was doing, right? So this is Chat GPT, OpenAI's Chat GPT. If you want to download it, let me find download. It is on this link. You can download it on your phone. You can download it on anything, basically. Make an account, download it, try it out. If you're going, I don't want to, like I saw somebody in chat said, if we're delegating our friendships and stuff to Chat GPT, right, or our therapy, then we really are lost. I think one of the interesting things about it is I feel like the we are lost moment happened when a 12-year-old can't get therapy for mental health issues in the United States.
Yeah.
And ends up doing something bad that they regret. That is when we messed up and made the mistake. Now, how do we remedy and rectify that when therapy costs $150 an hour? right? It's like we have to figure out how to get the next generation that can't afford anything, therapy and help. And if we can't do that, then we're just kind of stuck in this loop and in this cycle. So I highly recommend all you guys try to utilize AI. I just utilized it just for a couple of things. But the interesting thing is if you guys see graphics that I've come up with, if you've seen marketing things or anything like that, all of that stuff I've come up with Chat GPT. It's helped me iterate on ideas or story ideas. It's helped me iterate on pitches and ideas. It can help you get a raise at your job. If you asked it, hey, how could I get a raise at my job? And you gave it that, then it will be able to help you set up a way to communicate to get a raise at your job. And there's so many things that you use it for. I haven't run into something that I haven't been able to use it for. As an example, I had it break down the exact amount of money I need to make per day to pass my challenge. So I know what that number is. But on top of that, it calculated the exact amount of days that I would hit it. And every single day I updated on my numbers, and it tells me the exact time I'll hit it. So I don't have to sit there and go, did I do well today or did I not do well? I'm not even doing that. I'm offloading that whole entire process to Chat GPT. It's looking at the information of what I'm doing and going, you're doing good today. I don't have to sit there and worry. I don't have to sit there and emotionally think whether I'm doing good or bad at it. I've already offloaded all of that onto a model. So that makes things a little bit easier for me.
Amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
And I'll end it with this because I know we were
gonna
gonna
do a class on that. I'm not doing the trading thing, but I mean
the
like
trading
whole
stuff. There's another level to that, right? So next in January, they'll come out with AI agents, and this will be the last thing I'll say because I want to take up too much of your time. I know my dad wants to go as well.
right.
But AI agents will come out from Microsoft, Google, and Chat GPT, so OpenAI. And an AI agent is basically a Chat GPT that you could train and it would autonomously do tasks. So if that sounds a little off, let me explain a couple of examples. If I wanted it to do a customer service job where it answered the phone and talked to people, all I would need to do is feed it all of the training data of the things it needs to talk to. And from now on, it will answer the phone autonomously and talk to all of those people. So the moment that those agents come out in January, there will be people that make agents that eliminate hundreds of thousands of jobs in customer support over like very quickly. Because this system will communicate at their level. It won't argue with them. It won't debate with them. It won't lose its cool. It's not built to do that. So
very, very patient.
Very patient. Yeah. So another thing one of the first things I tell people to do with AI, OpenAI and Chat GPT and stuff like that is go in, take something that you're really interested in, like a subject or something. Like Corky, it might even be like, what are some of the best stories about Christmas that I could share on my TikTok? And it will get you 5 stories that you could share on TikTok for Christmas. And this is content that then you can edit, put on YouTube. Here are the 5 best stories I've heard about Christmas, miracles, or whatever it may be.
That's perfect. I'm writing that down.
and take it a step back. Maybe you can't even come up with the idea of the 5 things on Christmas. Ask it, hey, I want to come up with some ideas for some content that I can make for YouTube about Christmas. That's all you have to ask it. And it will start coming up with ideas, right? And then here's where it's different than a Google search. If I Google search those things, I could go through a bunch of articles of people saying, I did this or that. But on ChatGPT, now I can take the next step and say, no, I actually don't want to do anything that's out of the house. And it'll go, perfect. I'm going to get rid of everything that has to do with going out of the house.
Right.
You can't do that on Google without going back and researching stuff to do out of the house. So you get to have this conversation, and it has the capability to search the internet now. So it can search for that information if it doesn't have it in all the information it currently has, which just is all the information we've all made as humanity. So
I hear Google struggling a little bit right now.
They're all struggling because Chat GPT is kind of in a really unique position because it had first mover advantage. So Gemini and both Gemini and Microsoft and Anthropic, which just got a $5 billion more investment from Amazon, which is Claude. If you guys don't know, Claude and Anthropic are like the main competitors to Chat GPT. Very good for coding, not very good for the other elements that Chat GPT is good at. But the big thing, and I'll finish my point that I was talking about. The big thing about agents is that you will be able to train an agent on anything. And this is where the whole world is going to change drastically. When Apple Intelligence and the Android stuff with Gemini and all this stuff catch up to AI agents, they will have an agent that's in your phone like a Siri assistant that will learn you like the back of it doesn't have hands, like the back of its chip, right? And because of
The
that,
back of its chip.
yeah, it will make the easiness of your life 10 times better. How? ChatGPT can communicate with itself instantaneously with API calls. Example, I want to book my hair appointment. My hair appointment person has a ChatGPT assistant, and I do. I just grab my phone and talk to ChatGPT like you guys just said and say, I really need a haircut. Could you book me a haircut with the person I normally go to? It goes, absolutely. It makes that conversation happen with his ChatGPT, figures out his schedule, has that his GPT has a conversation with him about it. It's booked and it's done, and none of us had to have that conversation. I have to go on a website to book it. I have to do any of that stuff. And that would work for everything. So say you're a kid and you're, maybe learning in certain subjects like math suck for you. It will know, okay, Matt sucks at math. He's very good at spelling. He's very good at writing and reading, but math is not his strong suit. I will teach Matthew math at the level that he can learn it and at the rate that he can process it. I'm not going to teach math at the rate that the rest of the class is processing it, because that would leave Matt behind the rest of the kids. And either we'll just pass him because, no child left behind. So let's just make everybody stupid. But let's really look at this from an outside angle and go, what if every child and adult had their own tutor?
Right.
So when I want a question about black holes and then I ask Nova, my GPT, about it, and it's very complicated because I'm not a scientist, and it gives me all this complicated shit about black holes, and I go, oh, I'm too stupid to understand what it's saying. I just go, can you explain this to me like I'm 5? And then it breaks it down into a marble example and I get it.
Wait, didn't Albert Einstein say that if you can't explain something to a 6 years old, you're making it too complex?
Yeah. And so when I have children, how do you think I'm going to train them and raise them? I'm going to go, let's ask these questions, but I'm going to show you how to ask these questions and where to ask these questions. And as they get more used to that and they're developing, they won't be in a position that kids are currently in now, where they feel like they have no place to turn to ask these questions.
Right.
And GPT, if you guys didn't know, is trained on all of humanity's data. Like basically at this point, we've run out. Like it's training off its own synthetic data. So GPT now is at the point where it's creating new things and then training off those things based off of humans going, this, you did well here. So that's that. And if you guys have new iPhones, it's in Apple Intelligence. It'll soon be in all of that stuff as well. So
Well, I know my last update on my phone, things really changed, and there's so many things available on the 1800 or iPhone 18, whatever it is. So yeah, that's amazing.
Yep.
Matthew, once again, you've blown my mind. Just like,
listen, I'm evangelical about this stuff because I believe in it. And I believe that a lot of the problems that we face as a society, like I'm not somebody that wants to replace humanity with machines. I don't think that that's the solution. But I think that humanity has outgrown kind of the framework, and we don't understand it enough to fix it ourselves. It's a really, really big issue because it's like, how do you fix social media when so many of us rely on it for certain different things, whether it's business or connection or all these things. So you can't come in with a mallet and like break down certain aspects of it.
I feel that way about our economy. We've outgrown.
It's like TikTok, right? When they go, hey, let's ban TikTok. What's the initial response? Some people might go that don't use TikTok will go, oh, absolutely. Chinese app, get rid of it. And then all the people that make a full-time income and impact people, their lives on TikTok, like you do, they're not thinking about those people. They're not
No.
thinking about how big of a deal it would be for you to lose your income overnight from TikTok, or
Be
lose
off.
following from that overnight, or the people that would wake up the next day and not have you
Mhm.
as their light in that day. Like, people don't think about shit like that, and that's why you can't take a sledgehammer to all these things. But AI can help us take a scalpel to them instead.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the route we need to go. So,
Matthew, you're brilliant. I'm right with you on that.
hey,
Absolutely.
I just
It's
love
so
sharing
fun to
this
watch.
stuff.
Yeah. Thank you
Well,
so much.
well, I want to go, you guys. I love hearing Matthew.
Go take a nap.
Me and Matthew have conversations about this all the time.
Right.
And one of the things I wanted to share with you guys right before we close here is, you know, some of you here, I listen to so many different inputs on information. And I know that I brought up Bill Maher a number of times, but I'll always watch Bill Maher's Overtime. You know what I mean, on YouTube. And he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on there. Matt, are you impressed that I got the name? I got
Oh, you did it.
And listen to this one thing that he said. You know, you can listen to the rest of it. But he said, the reason that we struggle so much in the world is because everyone thinks that the human mind actually calculates in facts and figures when we talk about risk. And he goes, human minds don't do that, and they never have done that. So they're always throwing equations at us. You know, this is what the economy's doing, or what this is doing. And the human mind hears it. It's just not emotionally connecting with it. So he said, if the mind really truly could understand risk, then there wouldn't be any casinos.
You're right.
Now, he says you can tell a human being honestly what their chances are of winning the lottery. And they don't care because they're the ones that is going to win. So does that sound logical or does that sound emotional?
Emotional.
So us trying to, I know you guys, to just give you a neat thought about this. How many of you have heard two different ways of explaining something, one from one side and one from the other side, and neither one of them make any sense? All right. So I'm not leaning on one side or another, but you can't stand in front of people on national news and say the economy is the best it's ever been. Wall Street is hitting record highs. The economy is going great. We're the fastest growing country in the world, and everything is awesome. And people go, that ain't the way I felt when I bought something last. You see, when you're not connected with people, then what you think is, I gave them the facts. Is everyone stupid? See, everyone on the other side is stupid. No, you didn't figure out how to connect with them. That you didn't find out what was important for them and go, we need to fix that thing. And so I was telling Matt, Coca-Cola came out with an AI commercial. I watched it. It then got shown on mainstream, and they had to pull it off. Everyone complained that it was an AI commercial. And I was telling Matt, I now know we're in the right place at the right time. When the majority of the people in the world, just like they said about the internet, that the internet is evil and it's going to destroy the planet, you know, and that was right around the Y2K, when none of the computers could figure out how to go to 2000, you know, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. That it was going to revert back to the 1700s or some stupid frickin' thing. Again, people with facts don't know shit, because they're always skewing the numbers and the facts to basically prove to people that they're smarter than you. Have you guys ever noticed that? And it's how debates are won. It's the way strategy is won. It's everything. So I can just make up a fact that I know that I'm making up, but if the other person doesn't know it, they now think I'm smarter than they are when I made up the shit. So then what did we hear for the whole, 8 years? Is, oh my God, social media. There's the truth sayers. No, there's the fact finders, right? And that's why people can't understand, because if you connect to a human being, they really don't care if you're off on the facts. You guys ever notice that? It's like they're not even checking on you. So now when people talk, they go, oh, we have a bunch of people that are checking whether or not their facts are correct. And people are going, I don't give a shit if the facts are right. Is this guy going to do something for me? Is this girl going to do something for me? And so think about that now reversed, because I'm thankful for each and every one of you. I'm very thankful. Thanksgiving's coming up. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And when you come from a place of, my goal is to get this person to feel better about what's happening right now. My goal is to make sure that I can help this individual feel better about themselves and feel better about the future. I got to do my best to encourage them, to tell them, no, they're not the person that they say they are, and the world says they are. No, they're very unique and very special. And I got to get you to understand just how unique and special you are and how loved you are. Because when you step into that realm, you're bulletproof. So I love each and every one of you. I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. For those of you that don't celebrate Thanksgiving, be thankful anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
I know some people, unfortunately, that when they think about Thanksgiving, they think of family members, and then that doesn't go very well. So just be grateful and thankful for things and try to get in that headspace. I love each and every one of you. Hey, got any last words, Matt?
No, not at all. I just love and appreciate you guys. Thanks for being on here and sharing your Saturday with us. Like you said, Dad, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We're thankful for you guys, and we'll see you next Saturday. So love and appreciate you guys. See you next time. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to ask everybody to unmute here 1 second.
I forgot about that.
That's on it.
I think that worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you, Charlie. See you, Faith.
Hey,
Manuel,
remember
Daniel, Peter,
something.
Jerome, Karen,
I know.
Remember
Melody,
that
Peter and Linda.
What do we remember, Corky?
turkey tastes the same, even though the tree's up. So put up your Christmas tree.
I got to get to it. Thank you guys so much for being on here.
Rachel, nice
Thank
to see
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Cody, Kevin, Sarah, welcome.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You bet.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great
Melody,
day. Have a great weekend.
Corky, Karen, did I say your name? I love you.
Love you.